prophetic traditions that are telling to us about being kind to our neighbor. For instance, in the time of the Prophet, there was a woman who is doing night prayer every night, who is fasting in whole day, but she was not kind to her neighbor. And then the Prophet was asked about this woman, and the Prophet said, La khayra fiha, there is no good thing in her, fahiya finnar, and she will enter the hellfire. And also in another occasion, the Prophet was asked that there was a woman who just did obligatory things in our religion. He didn't used to fast in the day, and he didn't used to pray in the night, but she was very kind to her neighbor. When the Prophet was asked about this woman, the Prophet replied, "Wahiya fil Jannah," she will enter the paradise. You can imagine, you can contemplate, you can look at from this prophetic tradition that being kind to our neighbor is very important, very urgent as in our life, that we have to be kind to them. And the Prophet was describing that to be kind to our neighbor will lead us to the paradise, and not to be kind to our neighbor will lead us to the hellfire. So we as Muslims, we should treat our neighbor very well. It's not sometimes it is not about treating them well, but also we have to be patient when they are doing something that disturbing us. For instance, when our neighbor is doing something that is not right, we have to be patient. That is why Hasan al-Basri, one of the companions, one of the tabi'in, one of the follower of Sahabat, he was asked, what do you think, what do you see about being kind to our neighbor? And Hasan al-Basri replied, Laysa min husnil jar al-kafu anil ada, walakin min husnil jar al-sabrul al-ada. It is not to be kind to our neighbor if you treat your neighbor well, but it is the right of your neighbor that you are going to be patient when your neighbor is treating bad for you. So we as Muslims, we should treat our neighbor well as we have to be patient when we get something that is not good from our neighbor. So the first thing that we have to do is to treat our neighbor well as we have to be patient when we get something bad from our neighbors.